Hi Ryan, how you doing?
Good, Nicole. What's going on?
Well, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. I know like you're like the king of cold calling and I'm the queen of cold calling, so it's just an interesting conversation today. Tell
Yeah.
me about superhuman prospecting.
So we provide outsourced sales development services to companies primarily in the B2B space, a little bit in the B2C, but companies will outsource their lead generation work. We primarily perform or conduct cold calls as a part of that service, but we also provide list building services and email prospecting and LinkedIn messaging.
Okay, so all of them, all of the above together, and that's really powerful.
Mm.
So I know you really your interest is working with young people. You know, they're in school, they're not learning these skills. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that is certainly where things are headed. So I had just released a book this past week called Trust Call, and it is about our cold calling method that we've been developing over the last few years through the work we've been doing at Superhuman Prospecting. And the idea is I would love to, work eventually with young professionals or college students who are looking to get into the sales profession. So the great thing about this is it provides a foundational structure for how to go about cold calling, and we've been using it with some of our college students, workers at Superhuman, and found a lot of success. So I see the future is bright with sales students. So I'd love to work with them soon.
And it's interesting you say that because I've worked with several co-op students. So just like a
Okay.
year prior to getting into university. And then you can tell me if this is what you find as well. They're really eager, they're willing to learn. They have less, like they don't have the experience on the phones, but they have the go-getting attitude that a lot of the senior salespeople are like, well, I'm beneath making these prospect calls, like let those guys do it for me, right? So it's really interesting to see the eagerness and the willingness to learn. And I find, here's where I'm going with all this, I find that they tend to do better sometimes just because of that attitude rather than having all these like amazing skills in place. Do you find
That's a
that?
good, definitely. We see that you can teach, old dogs new tricks, but we also see that those folks who are younger and haven't really had the experience are very moldable. And if they have the right attitude and motivation, then, you can teach them the skills and the foundations that are important for having success, and they can attach to that very quickly. And you can see the ramp time or acceleration time to success much quicker sometimes than other groups.
Yep, definitely. So it's great. And also now you are really a big proponent of, combining the calling with social media. So how does that work?
So, in terms of our own strategy, yeah, we have several strategies we use to grow superhuman prospecting. So we do everything from inbound lead services through or inbound leads through internet search to cold emailing to cold calling to being on LinkedIn and engaging people there. So I'm certainly a believer in it in business growth. As part of our service, we do offer kind of multi or omni-channel prospecting. We kind of limit it what we can do, so we can maximize the opportunity. What we try to stay away from is diluting the quality of the services by doing too many things. And we've kind of niched down to calling, emailing, and LinkedIn. But they can certainly run in tandem with our clients' other services that they have going on, and can kind of help organize that strategy a little bit.
And what's the biggest mistake you've seen done on LinkedIn prospecting? Because I know
The
there's a
biggest,
bunch.
well, I think, some of the bots through LinkedIn messaging can come across pretty non-human, and
Mhm.
they can, be templated or just trite. And it's unfortunate because I've actually bought services through LinkedIn messaging when someone reached out to me, but for the most part, I have a really hard time reading them because I just think it's going to be another bot trying to make sure that I'm staying safe in these uncertain times, every message. So
I find like the long ones, it's the really long ones that, right? They look suspicious. Or the
yeah,
long,
and
right? The shorter ones, and and sometimes they start off with, "Hi, how are you? How you doing?" Or, that's okay in certain situations, like
mhm.
where you might know the person, but like, the "Hi, how are you?" and just like a 5 paragraph message with links. It's like, who wants to see all that? But it happens all the time. I get pitched all the time with this stuff.
Yeah, especially in today's world where everything is so hyper electronic and digital, it's really tough to digest that information and even have the desire to. So it does really put pressure on the salesperson to be adept and aware of what some of the ways prospects are going to respond are. Email messages should be less than 75 words, and I'm imagining LinkedIn messages should be even less than that, to start
Right.
off with. So, being cognizant of how much people are getting that stuff can really change the way you write to them.
Definitely,
It
definitely.
should.
Any last minute thoughts? Any last minute pointers you can, share with the audience?
Yeah, cold calling is still alive and well. Cold calling conversations don't necessarily change as fast from a structural standpoint as email, because people are still people. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't evolve and change a little bit. It doesn't mean that markets don't change, but how humans build trust with each other on a phone call, is a bit more timeless than the way that we email 10 years ago versus 5 years ago versus today. So if you can be a human and authentic and build trust, that can go a long way now and into the future, I think.
Beautiful. And you're situated where?
I'm right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and our team is USA based. So all of our employees are throughout the United States, but I'm right outside of Philly.
Perfect. So thanks so much. And I'll make sure all the information is in the description box. Thank you again.
Great. Thank you so much.